Hi, this is John with WesleyGospel.com. I just discovered that Charles Finney became a Congregationalist. He was a Congregationalist preacher. I just realized that. So, during his evangelist phase, which was in the 1820s, I think he was still a Presbyterian at that point. But he had a falling out with the Presbyterian clergy because he kept on harping against total depravity, or should we say total inability. This constant lazy antinomian attitude among the Presbyterians that original sin is so overwhelming that I can't obey God's law. So he broke away from that, and eventually, once he became a pastor, he was with the Congregationalists. Congregationalists. That's the denomination that the Pilgrims were part of. When the Pilgrims came over on the Mayflower, they were Congregationalists. And believe it or not, you do not have to be a believer in eternal security, once saved, always saved, to be a Congregationalist. There's room for Arminianism there. It's neither here nor there. In fact, they do lean in the Arminian direction. Now, there are liberal Congregationalist churches today, so I wouldn't advise that. But there seems to be a conservative one today called the Evangelical Congregational Church. Their website is called eccenter.com. And they have a pamphlet, an online pamphlet against eternal security theology that I found was kind of like, oh man, these guys are real. Now, with all, if you're looking for a place to serve and you believe like Charles Finney and Jesse Morrell and Kerrigan Skelly, this might be the church for you. In fact, they have a really massive need for preachers. If you go to eccenter.com, they have a front and center thing at the top, stationing info pastoral openings. Could this very well be, a denomination agreeable to the theology of Charles Finney? Yes. It seems that is could be a yes there. Again, there's lukewarmness all over the place. So I would never go all in with any church in this day and time that we're living in. If you want to maintain your fire, your Leonard Ravenhill, your Charles Finney type fire, I say be a small business person, have an entrepreneurial thing that you do. You work from home, remote work, etc. But I wouldn't mind if the Lord gave me plenty of signs. I wouldn't mind moving up to somewhere like Pennsylvania or something like this, where all these other churches, they're mainly in Pennsylvania. Evangelical Congregational Church. Yeah, it's a thought. I mean, they seem to have latitude with regard to theology, but again, we live in times of cheap grace. We live in times of antinomianism. So don't get too excited. But yeah. So Charles Finney was a Congregationalist. Does that mean if he was alive today, he would be a minister in the Evangelical Congregational Church? No, not necessarily. But they seem to, from just in passing, they have this online article. It's a PDF. It's called What the Evangelical Congregational Church Believes on Assurance and Apostasy. And, they're Arminian. They're an Arminian group. And they identify with the Pilgrims. Here's the last few paragraphs of their statement on assurance and apostasy. Evangelical Congregational Church. They say, the greatest assurance of my salvation, then, is my present personal faith in Jesus Christ for the forgiveness of my sins and in his promise that he will never leave me nor forsake me. Hebrews 13:5. To seek beyond this for a greater assurance is not really possible. Quote, eternal security, end quote, as we have seen, is false security. And the view of, quote, preservation of the saints always carries with it the unsettling question, am I really one of the elect? Is my faith really genuine? Or am I one of those who pretend for a time to believe only to fall away and finally be lost? There is here a subtle shift away from Christ toward the quality of my faith, of my inner attitude. The biblical view of assurance and apostasy may be summed up in the words of F. Bruce. The scriptures contain encouragement enough and to spare for the feeblest believer, but are full of solemn warnings to those who think they stand to beware lest they fall. Okay. Strong Arminian statement there. I mean, really strong. Just as strong as you might find in the Free Will Baptist Church. So, which again, if you lean towards Charles Finney, the Free Will Baptist Church might accept you as well. But the Congregationalists, yeah, Evangelical Congregational Church. Now again, they quoted F. Bruce right there. He's an annihilationist. So how strong are they on eternal punishment? You know? But, yeah, it's worth considering. That's what I just thought I would mention that.